The Book of Benjamin Kareth is an invitation to die. I didn't see it in the beginning, but now I'm beginning to see a glimpse of what God had planned all along, my death. This book series is the story of how I died and an invitation for you to die as well. We resist death with everything in us. It's only natural, right, that we should fight to continue to breathe and exist in this world. We are born into this world and everything in it teaches us to fight, to be someone. We are given a name and we want that name to be known and remembered by those around us. We want so desperately to be seen. We want so desperately to be heard. And we want so desperately to be valued and matter to anyone and everyone. But we learn quickly that we are a king or queen among billions of kings and queens, all fighting to rule the same small kingdom. We sit on the throne of our life and refuse to yield it to anyone. But how fast we learn that serving only ourselves is a lonely way to live. But God has a better way for us. He led the way through his Son for us to walk the way of the cross and die. He is reaching out his hand to us and calling us to come and take up our own uniquely fashioned cross and die, so that we can give up our self-throne to bow before his. And what we discover as we begin to die to ourself is that we find out who we were always created to be, and we discover what we were always meant to do. The Book of Benjamin Kareth is the story of my death. It is the story of my cross. On every page is the struggled steps forward as God has called me to come and take up my cross to follow after him. As you read, you'll feel the pain and the loneliness of my journey. You'll read about the suffering that comes when you finally let go and let God be the king of your life. You read about how God asked me to give away everything I owned and leave behind everyone I knew and loved to follow him. You'll read about the hundreds of God encounters I've had as I've listened and obeyed him. You'll read of his overwhelming faithfulness to provide for me as I've chosen his way over mine. God gave us all the greatest gift, choice. We have a choice, and no one can take that from us. The final choice is ours to make. We can choose our way, which leads to eternal death and separation from God, or we can choose his way, which leads to eternal life with him for all the eternities of the eternities to come. My prayer is that my journey will encourage yours. My prayer is that my death will encourage yours. My prayer is that my suffering will lessen yours. God has shown me every step of the way what is to come next for me. He has shown me the cup of my suffering. And yes, my death still to come.